After I got out of the military, I decided that I was a little bit better shape of mind to go back to college and maybe study. So I went back to Fullerton JC, where they received me. Interesting thing happened in college. I took beginning theory, and it was probably the most boring class I ever took in my life. And I wouldn't do my homework, but I'd take the test and get an A. How could I get an A and not do my homework? I go back to my piano teacher in elementary school. My piano lessons quit at the end of the 6th grade. But I'll tell you, my piano teachers really ingrained what music theory is about to me. Maybe the strongest part of me, if I have gifts or talents that are developed, it might be in the area of music theory. In 1958, I transferred from Fullerton Junior College to Chapman College. This was a Christian school sponsored by the Disciples of Christ denomination, and that was one of the things that attracted me here. I liked the fact that there was some spiritual life to it. It's certainly not a convent or a seminary, but I did like that about the school. And at Chapman College, we had chapel services that were mandatory twice or maybe 3 times a week. I was very involved with the basketball program, but I didn't play on the varsity, but we had an amazing music department here. And at Chapman College, I met a man named Edgar Scholand, and he had an immense impact on me teaching theory, and he made music fun. I sang with the choir. Sheldon Diswood was teaching here, and I sang with him. I also did a senior recital at the college.
I know that Fred, I think, attributes the fact that I kept coming back to him and giving him an opportunity, regardless of what he had done in the past. There was always an opportunity to work with him. For the chamber singers at Chapman, he left. I think it would have done him some good, but even so, he left, and he still grew anyway. That was his choice, and he did it.
Got my degree in 1960, Bachelor of Music, and I got it in education, not because I wanted to become an educator. I really didn't have any serious ideas of being a teacher. But I had gone back to college because I thought it would be wise to have a degree, have a profession to fall back on in case my desired career of being a singer would not pan out. Except to get the degree, you have to take student teaching for a semester. So I reluctantly went to my assignment at Anaheim High School. And the choir teacher, who was a friend of mine, assigned me one class. He said, "They're yours. You get to do everything about them." And what he did is he gave me the class he didn't want. He gave me beginning girls glee. And typically, beginning girls glee does not have a lot of talent and has a lot of attitude problems. And that's what he gave to me, and it made his job a lot easier. Well, I jumped in with both feet. And I really worked hard for those girls, and they got cranked on. They really started working, and they made good progress. But I got a lot of good feedback. I got a lot of validation from those girls, and the master teacher was happy for the job I did for him. And so, but I got cranked up about teaching, and I decided, I think I want to teach. So I took a job at Walker Junior High School in Cypress. And I had 2 glee clubs and 4 general music classes. Girls glee and a concert choir or an a cappella or some sort of a mixed chorus. And I thought, that's gonna be the good ones. So I look at the enrollment and there's 2 boys. And because of their age, they're still girls. You know, the voices haven't changed. And I put up with that for the bulk of the first semester. And maybe a few weeks before the semester, I went into the principal and I said, I have an idea, and I have a request. I'd like to have you consider this. I want to build this program. I want to get a lot of boys in this class because singing is for boys, except most boys don't know that. They think that singing is for girls. And so my proposition to him was, for the second semester of this year, I would like to volunteer to take every hoodlum male. But I said, I'll take them all. You know, give me 50, give me 100. I don't care who they are. We'll put them all in one class, and I'm going to work with them. And he said, you're out of your mind. And but there was something about my presentation and my demeanor that he believed me, and he said, "You're on." So he gave me about 50 hoods. And they came into class. I had to learn how to interact with them and help them to go from, "God, this is so stupid, I'm in the choir," to, "Hey, maybe this is okay." And you know what? In a semester, they made pretty good progress. They were not really a good choir, but they were involved, they were trying, they were performing, mediocre, but they were performing, they were a team. And so I took that accomplishment and used it, because at the end of the school year, you have an opportunity to go to the elementary schools that are going to come to your school the next year, and you put on an assembly. So I thought, I'll take one of my choirs. Guess which one I'm going to take? I'm taking this gang of hoodlums out there. And I'm going to project an image to this 6th grade kid who's thinking, "Wow, singing must be cool." And so the next year, I had, first of all, the hoodlums were gone, and I had all kinds of new, really good kids coming to school, and we jumped to 120 guys in the boys' glee the next year.
And he told everybody in the class, "I'm going to teach you how to sing." Well, that makes people like me nervous, because I didn't know anything about singing and never really had any appreciation for music. For me, my experience with Fred was never about music or learning how to sing. But what he had given me was built up my confidence and self-esteem.
And that was a great move.